Hey everybody, I can't actually see the camera because that sun is, being the sun. So I'm out here at a nature preserve in Northeast Oregon where I live. And I was out kicking about and I realized that the yarrow's blooming, and I haven't done a video about yarrow yet. So I figured I'd suffer through and just look super badass in my sunglasses while I do it, right? So let me flip this around and show you our lady yarrow. If I don't break my camera trying to do it. Ooh, that's a little bit better. I don't have to stand in the sun and I can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is yarrow. And again, she is probably going to be growing anywhere you live in the United States, and she's native to Europe as well, a lot of those areas. So she actually gets her name from Rome, from like the Achilles heel story. And so sometimes she's called Wound War, Soldier's War, things like that. And they call her that because back in the day, if you got straight up shanked by a spear in battle, you could take her leaves or her blooms and you could mash them up and put them in a wound and it would full on stop bleeding. That's one thing that she's super in control of, is our blood. And she's really amazing for that. But also what they probably didn't or did know, maybe, who knows, is she's an amazing antibacterial. Like, she kills all gram-positive bacteria. So as soon as they started shoving this in the wound to not only stop bleeding, they were helping prevent, you know, septic and stuff like that conditions from infested wounds. Infested. I guess they probably get infested. I've been in the heat too long today. So I really like to make a tincture out of her, and now some people say they like the tincture of the leaf or the tincture of the bloom. There's not really any way, unless you're specifically coming out here and just taking the blooms. I will cut her right here at the base. She comes back every year from root, so it's actually kinder to the plant if you cut it down to the base where you take it, because if not, you've just taken off where she's reproducing from anyways. So, well, I mean, she can spread from seed too, but she mainly comes back from root every year. So anyhow, I like to make a tincture of her. She's amazing for things like bladder infections, you know, like a urinary tract infection. She's great for people who bleed really heavily during their period. She's also really good for colds. She's a really good fever reducer. She's great dropped on your toothbrush, brush your teeth. She's amazing for oral health, you know, because she's going to stop that gum bleeding and help reduce receding gums and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Now externally, she's amazing at healing up wounds. She's awesome for acne. You make an oil infusion with her and then turn that into a salve, and she's going to start healing up some pretty serious stuff. Now you can make a tea out of her. Generally the tea is used to bring on sweating, so to like break a fever, but also if your period's late and it's not from being pregnant, a good strong tea, not an infusion, don't make an infusion out of her, but a good strong tea of yarrow, usually 2 or 3 cups, you'll start to sweating, and then usually that day or the next day or so you'll start bleeding, if your body is able to. So I really like yarrow. I think she's a plant ally that everybody should know and everybody should have in their house. She's so handy for so many things, and she's so easy to find. You know, her smell, I'd say it's almost licorice-like. It's very distinct. She's not all the way bloomed here yet, but she's pretty close. Let me see, the sun might be keeping it from looking great. And she has these very fern-like leaves. Let me see if I can get real close on one. That's kind of, although I've seen more fern-like ones. Sometimes they get wider, sometimes just depends where she's growing, I think. For me personally, I experience where she like grows, like sometimes, like I find that we're pretty low elevation where I'm at right here, it gets real hot, and so she tends to have smaller leaves, but if I go up in elevation, way up to those mountains over there, she tends to have bigger leaves. That's just what I've noticed. Some people say that she causes sun sensitivity if she's used internally. I've never experienced that. My guess is they are making tinctures with dried plant matter. I never make tinctures with dried plant matter. So I've just never experienced it, and like, look at how white I am. And so if I'm not burning from taking it, I just don't feel like it's very common. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I just don't feel like it's very common if you're working with the fresh plant matter. Now, yarrow is also amazing at keeping bugs away. So like, maybe you watched my catnip video and I talked about infusing catnip into like witch hazel to make a bug spray. Another thing I like to add to that is yarrow. She's amazing at keeping mosquitoes away. And then catnip's pretty good for keeping ticks away, and combined they just kind of keep the things off of you. Actually, like catnip, there are studies that say yarrow is actually better at keeping insects away than DEET is. It's just that with any type of spray you make out of yarrow, you are going to have to put that on every 20 to 30 minutes versus DEET. It's like, you know, one every 48 hours, but that stuff will straight up give you cancer. So anyhow, I just thought that I'd jump on here and make a quick video where I look super cool in my glasses all about yarrow and how amazing she is, because she's one of my favorite allies. Look at my hair is just rocking it right there. My husband isn't out here with me today, so I'm like solo, like selfie filming. But you can get out here and you can find yarrow. She grows everywhere from the coast to high elevation, from areas that are moist all the way down into like the desert lands. And we actually, even though we live in Oregon, we live in Northeast Oregon, which is high mountain desert, which is code for -20 Fahrenheit in the winter and like 120 Fahrenheit in the summer. So she's adaptable. And now I know a lot of people see the colored yarrows in gardens and they're tempted to use those. I would not use those internally. Those are man-made, meaning they've been altered to have color that doesn't naturally occur. Although there is like one naturally occurring yellow yarrow, but that's not what's growing in gardens. And she has way, way, way higher volatile oil content than like she naturally would, which is a result of being manipulated into having color. And so I don't personally feel like she's safe to be used internally. Externally, you can still use her for like salves and sprays and stuff, but I would not consume that internally, just to put that out there. So anyhow, I like yarrow, and you're smart enough to get out here and find yarrow. You're smart enough to go out and meet her. She's so easy to identify, and my hope with these videos is that they get you curious. They get you looking into yarrow and all the amazing things that yarrow can do. And pretty soon I'll have a video up of how to make a yarrow tincture and all kinds of stuff like that, because I've got a basket full of yarrow here that I'll get home and need to make a tincture out of, so I'll just make a video then too. Whew. Okay. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and then like and comment. That way I know you're watching and it helps other people find my videos. Head on over to Instagram and find me there. I talk on there quite a lot. And you can head to the link in my bio here to find my Instagram, as well as my website. There's a big old farm truck going by. I'm just right off the road. I am, but like, this road is like, that's like the first rig that's gone by besides me in probably about 2 hours. But still, anyhow, so I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope that they're helpful for you, and I hope that you enjoyed meeting, now that the sun's hiding behind a singular cloud, I hope you enjoyed meeting yarrow, and I will see you next time, okay? All right, bye.